Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome award-winning, multi-platinum country music icon and star of the upcoming Fox series Monarch, Trace Adkins.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
RICMOTECH, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, RICMOTECH.com.
The following is an All-Star 15 TV production.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to All-Star 15 TV on the broadcast tonight from the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. It is the XMS RICMOTECH Xfinity Series season opening race. It's the Daytona 250. Cars are just hitting the track for some last-minute warm-ups, some last-minute practice, maybe a little pit party. But in the broadcast booth with me this evening for the first time that I know of, and I'm pretty sure he'll give you a little bit of rundown of what he's done out of the great state of Virginia. It's Kenan Miller.
Thanks, AJ. We're looking forward to seeing a really good 100-lap race here. I feel really honored to be welcomed into the booth tonight. It should be a really exciting race. Daytona always is. I think strategy will play a really big part with the stages that actually just one stage at lap 30. It's going to make the strategy a little bit different, especially in the back half, and I think being the first race of the season, it's going to be a good time to find out who wants to work with who and who's together with who outside of the obvious teammates.
Yeah, during the early part of the race, we're going to see teammates just working together. But when we hit that 20 to go, 15, and then so on towards the finish, your teammates are going to be where you find them. Who's going to get you to the front? If you guys stuck around and watched the race last night, they had the RICMOTECH Truck Series. Towards the end of that race, there was only one team working together. And I would not be surprised if we're going to see that once again tonight, Kenan.
Yeah, we hope they'll maybe take something they learned from last night and be able to carry it over to today. Maybe some alliances and friendships have formed, but with how last night's race went, you could see it. If you do see that, you may see a breakaway. I do think we're probably going to see a pretty good pack until we get to that final pit stop, and that's where we'll see who might create some separation.
Yeah, so welcome to All-Star 15, Kenan. Glad to have you here. I know this was kind of like a last-minute setup kind of thing, but we have 100 laps tonight, 250 miles, stage break at lap number 30. Last week, if you guys didn't join us, we did the Daytona duels for the RICMOTECH Xfinity Series, and that set the lineup for tonight. When we start to grid, we'll give you the rundown of the starting lineup, but your front row starters, Joe Torres and Michael Thwaites. But then you had our duels with Joshua Vital and Bryce Senzak winning theirs respectfully. Yeah. Sorry, my voice is starting to crash there. Respectfully. So they're going to start third and fourth, and then everybody else is going to have to fight and claw their way towards the front. But you've seen it. You've been in plenty of races. Even if you've watched a super speedway race in real life, it does not matter where you start. You can get to the front with the right pairing or the right couple drivers and in the right line. Kenan, how difficult is it to maneuver traffic at such high speeds with so many cars around you?
Timing's essential to everything at Daytona. Not just timing on your lap times around the racetrack, timing in where you are with a certain laps to go. A lot of people say you don't want to be leading when you get the white flag. If I were the driver tonight, I'd take being the leader with the white flag than probably about 30 other positions that you could be in. So, you know, you want to make sure you're up front, but you also don't want to get up front too early and you lose your run and give a chance to give up the win to someone else. Do you think pit stops are going to be the real big part, getting these cars stopped?
Yeah,
It's just going to
absolutely.
be crucial.
Coming to pit road was a biter for many drivers last night, dude. It was scary because you're going from 100, 175, 180 plus, and you're dropping it all the way down to 55. That's tough, and it bit a bunch of drivers last night.
And it'll more than likely bite more drivers again tonight. I mean, it happens anytime you come to Daytona. Everybody's dipping off for pit lane. You got to get on those brakes at the last possible second, and sometimes you can just barely miss it. You lock up the brakes, you slide it a little too far. You get into the wrong line with a big pack of cars coming in, and chaos can happen that way. I do think if we see a nice clean race here coming to the finish, that's where the separation will have to be found.
Yeah,
Who executes that the best?
and with that, you'll see a lot of these drivers, if they come to pit road in a pack, staggering their entrances, just in case somebody does make a mistake. It might minimize the risk for the other drivers, but all it takes is somebody to lock up the brakes and spin in front of everybody instead of right in the grass or right into the wall. I think Anthony Campbell had an issue on pit road last night during the race, but with just about a minute left in that warm-up, Dennis Ansman, Kyle Zimmer, Taylor Bertram, Caleb Lamb, and Gary Wells, your top 5 in practice. They are all Chevys, and just to throw it at you, our top 9 drivers are Chevrolet Camaros. Doug Tuttle's the first non-Chevy in a Toyota Supra in 10th. So Chevy power is huge out at Daytona tonight.
Yeah, the Chevy power does look to have they've done something over the offseason to get those engines working just a little bit better. I think maybe just the teamwork, everybody working together, all happen to be the Chevy guys. You don't the Chevys obviously are the heavy car manufacturer in the series, not too many Toyotas and Fords, so they've got a big challenge coming up.
Yeah, five Toyotas, and it looks like 4 Fords in the field. So they all can pit together, and they're still less than the Chevys. But that warm-up is over. We're about to start with the grid. This is going to be fun. We're going to run down the top 20. You're going to see everybody else float all the way through. You're watching All-Star 15 TV's broadcast of the XMS RICMOTECH Xfinity Series live from the World Center of Racing, Daytona International Speedway. Here is the starting lineup. We can show it. And there it is. On pole by winning it last week, it's Joe Torres. Outside pole, Michael Thwaites. In row number 2, you have Joshua Vital and Bryce Senzak. In row 3, Kyle Miller and Brian Wasserman. Row 4, you have Alan Fox and Taylor Bertram. And row 5, rounding out that top 10, Carter Casey and Jeffrey Goodpaster. Kenan, take it away.
So starting in 11th, we have Ryan Frey driving the privateer vehicle. And we've got Mike Robinson starting in 12th. He's always one to look out for when you see him at a race like Daytona, driving for the Spartan Esports team. Kyle Zimmer, another Spartan Esports teammate of Mike Robinson, starting there right row behind him with Ethan Pimley from J3 Motorsports. Looking to get the win tonight from middle of the field. He's going to have a little bit of work to do. And we've got Doug Tuttle with SimSpark Racing. Don't know much about Doug Tuttle, but I do think he's probably another one I'd look out for. We've got Gary Wells and the Warrior Enterprises. Didn't have a very good qualifying run, but another one that he knows how to do his drafting. He knows when to time it right, knows when to hold him, knows when to fold him. Connor Coleman with Spartan Esports. Didn't qualify as good as Mike and Kyle, but still getting in the top 20 is quite respectable. They seem to have similar speed, and I think he's going to be a key player in being a partner to get Spartan Esports a win. Dennis Ansman, also driving a privateer team vehicle. That's going to be the challenging part. Privateers, who are they going to work with? Are the privateers going to get together? Or are they going to get lucky and another teammate's going to have no choice but to kind of give them a push? And then in the final row of the top 20, we've got Caleb Hatt, another J3 Motorsports member. Didn't qualify as good as his teammate, but you do expect to see him try and get together with his teammate and start working to the front. And then rounding out the top 20, Caleb Lamb, Warrior Enterprises. You'll probably see him and Gary get together real early, starting around each other and in the same row. That they should I'd look to see them move to the outside, get together, and then start working back up to the front through these 100 laps.
All right, everybody else is going to cycle through on your screen. We have 28 drivers in the field this evening. It's going to be a barn burner. What are we going to see leading up to that lap 30 stage? I can't tell you because last night we didn't hit chaos till right before that stage when everybody was starting to cycle up and try to make a run towards the front. Well, there we go. Pace car is off and away. Dude, way to start your broadcasting career at the World Center of Racing. Goodpaster looks like he has stalled.
Yeah, looks like we've got a stall in the outside lane. They're starting to move around him.
There he goes. He's got it going.
It looks like he's got it going now. So, don't know how the rule works, but I do think he will be able to retain that position for the start of the race. And it looks like he does.
We do have some wonderful driver cams this evening. Let's throw it to those. Let's see what we got here. Where'd it go? It all reset on me. There it is. Daniel Paulus Jr. Ryan Fry. Freshly shaved head of Ryan Fry. Mike Robinson. And Dennis Ansman. Thank you guys for letting us jump on board with you, and thank you to the team as well for letting us see what's going on those driver ends. Dude, we're about to go green. This is going to be wild. 28 Xfinity vehicles for the XMS RICMOTECH series. Race number 1. If you want anything to do with the championship, tonight is the way to start your season. You can always come back and work towards it, but getting a good start is right here, right now.
Green, green, green. Here we go. Lap 1 of an opportunity for all 28 drivers to be able to make a name for themselves. I'm going to expect them all to probably stay 2 by 2 for a while. See if we see anybody kind of switching around to get together with their teammates.
Well, you see somebody looking to the outside. That's the 33 of Goodpaster already looking to that outside. Got Taylor Bertram right in front of him. And there they go. We look like we have 2 drivers already hitting the parachute. That's Kyle Zimmer, Michael Robinson, and Connor Coleman hitting the parachute and going to the back.
I think it's worth noting, while they're still about the middle of the pack, Dennis Ansman and Daniel Krem hard chargers there on the restart, gaining 4 positions and 7 positions respectively, up to 14th and 15th. They're clearly showing they're not here to mess around. They want to get up to the front.
Yeah, I think a lot of that opened up when we had those drivers take the escape route and go to the back. It put a huge hole in the middle of the pack that they were just able to fill. But that inside lane right now, up towards the front, is looking pretty good, looking strong. We have to go all the way to, I think that is the 57 of Brian Wasserman on the outside, leading the charge for them.
Oh, there goes Kyle Miller to the outside. Wow.
Yeah, he's going to take that run.
He's got no help behind him, though, so he's going to fall back. It's an aggressive move this early in the race, trying to just complete lap 2.
Yeah, we saw a couple drivers last night, the 25 in the trucks, just take the draft, take the run, put it 3 wide, and try to pass drivers every single lap. For me, I would be very patient wanting to drive, but you're going to see drivers just take these runs they get and just go with them. Goes to 57, almost contact into the 6. Wasserman and Miller almost touching through 2.
Yeah, it's close contact. Kyle's really pushing tight, trying to make sure he gets every little bit of side draft he can, and it's just an early move in the race, but I do like to see the aggressiveness. All the drivers out there in the field know he's one to look out for. Sometimes it can be a good thing, he's one of the ones you can look for help. He's trying to get to the front.
Yeah, huge shout out to Kyle Miller, having All-Star 15 TV on the hood of that number 6 Chevy Camaro. A lot of these drivers have an All-Star 15 TV or Nerds Doing Nerd Things podcast, or even Wrestling with Nerds on their vehicles. Those are all entities I control, which is pretty cool. Oh. And speaking of the Wrestling with Nerds podcast, the driver number 32, Ryan Fry, is my co-host on that show.
Really? Wow.
And it looks like the 73 of Alan Fox. See Doobie on the back. He's taking the exit road and shuffling himself back out. Might be getting a little too crazy up front.
Yeah, they're running each other real tight, but you do see that they've got a group of 7 cars there back there kind of starting to fall away. They're not really getting lined up. If they keep doing that, they're going to fall off of this main pack.
Yeah, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of look at with that backpack. Gary Wells to Mike Robinson right in front of him. That's almost 6/10. He's really got to be careful. He very much could lose the draft. What is it? Right around that 7 or 8/10 mark is when you really start to fall back?
Yeah, it just depends on who you've got behind you. That's the biggest thing you see. Can't tell who is the back of that pack. Unfortunately, the camera's just out of view. But if he doesn't get a little momentum,
well, you got the 27, 73, the 77, and I think that's the 93 of Caleb Hatt. So Gary Wells, Zimmer, Fox, Lamb, and Hatt all in this group you see right on your screen, which they are very much in danger of losing that front pack. It looks like Mike Robinson might have just burped the throttle so they can come back and get it. You see that 22 back up just a little bit, and here comes the run from that backpack. Just to give you a little bit of a view from the spotter cam. See how close
I do
everything
like to see it,
is.
though.
Yeah, it's
6 laps in. Everybody's starting to line back up again. We'll see if anybody wants to make a push or if they just think this might be the best way to kind of knock out some laps. Remember, we got a caution coming in 23 laps.
Back up towards the front. Bryce Senzak plus 3 positions, taking the lead from Kyle Miller, Joe Torres, and Taylor Bertram. As that 6 looking back to that outside, but the 29 of Torres with a push on the inside. And there goes Thwaites. Led a couple laps, and he's getting out of there.
Yep, he put it in, got his bonus point for leading a lap, and he says he's ready to try and be around for lap 100.
Kenan, we were talking about Gary Wells and group not getting to the main pack again. 2 drivers that have completely lost the main pack the 4 of Jim Ott and the 23 of Connor Coleman. They got out of line and just completely lost the draft.
It's a tough part of drafting at Daytona when you try to take it easy and sort of sit at the back. You're very susceptible to get hung out to dry if the run doesn't match up quite like you want.
What's good is if they stay together, Ott and Coleman, they're just a second off the lead, a second off the leader's time. So they'll stay on the lead lap, both of them, but they have to stay put together all the way to the stage break.
Yeah, if they stay together, the top line could fall back. That's going to kind of go behind, so that'll help them kind of catch up if they can maintain where they are. But it's going to be tough with the pack carrying the kind of speed that they're carrying at the moment.
Yeah, it's they're hauling the mail.
Yeah, they're running just a little bit off the pace at the moment, but about half a second. So half a second to 3/4 of a second. So if they hang on, I think they might be able to make it to the stage break and not lose a lap, but it'll be close, that's for sure.
Bryce Senzak in the first Toyota is currently sitting at 180, almost 190 miles an hour as they head down into turn 3, and that completely drops down to 183. So you can see that there's a little mile-an-hour change coming through the turns, and then you can see how much the miles an hour jump the minute a push gets to it.
It's just going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I think so far they've kind of established I don't see any wrecks happening in the first stage unless a real big mistake happens. Everybody kind of bunches up going into 3 or something, so they're going to ride it out. We're going to see how it works out over the next 20 laps and who finishes where. But I think the first 10 laps of the season opening jitters are out of them, and they're just kind of all cruising at the moment.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a couple of them just one-arming it the whole way around. But that track temp, while it's nice for everybody here in Daytona, it's only 87 degrees or 84 degrees. But that track temp sitting at 110. You know, it's gorgeous out for everybody else, but on the track in these cars, it is hot and slick.
It's hot, and you see the humidity there, 54%. That's just soaking into the racetrack, so it's definitely making it slick on the drivers to have to handle these cars.
Greg Elliott, thank you for subscribing to All-Star 15 TV. Don't know if it popped up on your end, but there is Stone Cold for you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thanks for the follow.
Kyle Miller, Joe Torres on the inside lane. To the outside lane, Paul Irvin and Austin Albritton. Paul Irvin plus 25, Austin plus 23. And we're only 12 laps into this race, and they have moved heaven and earth to get towards the front. That's it. That's literally amazing. That in just 12 laps, they Tetris their way up towards the front of the pack.
Yeah, they've just been slowly churning away at it. You find the right lines. You got to move a little bit top to bottom if you want to work to the front. You can't rely on...
There goes the 48. Diving down to the inside.
Move. That was a very close move this early on. You come down like that entering 3. You got to really trust the guy on the inside line that he's not going to create an issue with you. But then you also see where they kind of switch their partners. 6 goes to the top side.
Which is funny. That 48 is in every single series that this channel broadcasts on Monday, on Tuesday, and on Wednesday. Paul just can't get enough of us. Oh, is he going to shade up? I thought there was going to be some contact between him and Kyle Miller. And as that's about to happen, he goes, I led the lap. I am out.
Yep. You can definitely tell the vibes the drivers are giving off with how they're wanting to race. Everybody wants to try and get their 1 point because every point will matter throughout this championship, even if it is only race 1. But they also don't want to be tasked with leading the pack and handling the ferocious mob on only lap 13, now getting ready to work 14.
Eric, thank you for the kind words. Appreciate it. Nate, I've had the same chair I've had for about 5 or 6 years. WD-40 is a wonderful thing. But All Britain, currently your race leader, Kyle Miller, with a hard charge on that outside. But then you have the driver of the number 88, Austin Karp, inside, pushing All Britain. The 29 gave the 88 a shot. Here at these super speedways, you're going to hear it a lot. Don't push the pusher. Right there could have ended horribly for this whole field. That would have been wild. And we're looking for fuel that they can go right around 30 laps. Maybe just a tad less if you're the lead car. So maybe that's a little strategy that these drivers are doing to make it the whole way.
Oh, caution. Caution on the speedway.
Caleb Lamb.
Oh, it's a hard hit.
Yeah, and I am... He's
Well,
like...
they got a different angle. That 77 sure hit really hard into the wall.
Yeah, he did. I think he might have blinked. Or everything just blinked for me. That is weird. I've never had that before. Oh, there it is. The 21 of Derek Catt gets clipped by the 27 of Gary Wells. As evasive maneuvers were happening, that closing rate is so dangerous here. Not just in the trucks, in these Xfinity cars as well. Let's see what we got here. The 21...
Yeah, so you're going to see the 21, he touches... Oh, the 21 actually contacts into the 22, I believe. And it looks like that's what gets him loose and up into the outside wall, and from there, mayhem just starts.
The first caution of the evening happening on lap 16. We're going to see if some of these drivers have some major damage. Gary Wells, just a little bit of right front. The 21 doesn't look too bad. The back end is very much messed up. I know Mike Robinson was also involved.
Yeah, let's see if we could... Yeah, the 22, Mike Robinson, he was the one who got touched by the 21 in the rear end. I don't think he's in too bad a shape, but...
Yeah, he's looking pretty good. It's feeding time on pit road.
It's actually will work out into a positive for all of the drivers that from here to the end of the stage, they'll be able to definitely know they're good if they thought they may have been a lap short running too hard up front. So they'll be able to run out the stage and then be able to kind of reset on the fuel and tires going into the last 70 laps.
I apologize.
You'll see a lot of people take the same stop.
I apologize, everybody. I have no clue whatsoever is going on with iRacing right now. I am getting read a huge connection problem, which never happens, so I apologize. But we are going to take a quick commercial break. We will be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are trying to work on a solution with iRacing right now, trying to get everything working good. We're just about to go green. Kenan, here we go. Caution number 1 for the season out of the way, and green flag is back in the air.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see who pushes really hard here. 11 laps till the stage ends. I think things might get a little dicier than we're expecting. We keep talking about how everybody's taking it easy wanting to get lap 100, but I think there's a lot of people in this field who wouldn't mind getting to the stage and being up front at the same time. Look at them, 2x2 coming out of 2.
Yeah, they are hauling the mail. That outside lane not put together whatsoever, but they currently got the lead with the Oneida Senzak still. He's going to come down, cut off the inside Daniel Krim. And they are staying up front. That outside lane needs some help. Vital in the 26 needs some help.
Daniel Krim definitely isn't making any friends with Joshua Vidal or Kyle Miller with that kind of move. He gets out of the way, they may still be able to push up front, but they'll remember that at the end of the race that he left them on the high line like that. I think now would be a great time. Let's go live to Dennis Ansman webcam. He's rolling on the lead on the top side. Let's see if we can get a push to the front.
Here he is. The concentration as somebody just ditched right behind him. That's Taylor Bertram to his inside. You see the 5.
You just see how precise those wheel movements are. Barely moving that wheel at all to hold it up on the wall.
Yep. Once again, everybody, apologizing. We are working with iRacing to get this all fixed up. But down the back straightaway they go. Vital currently a race leader being pushed by the 6 of Kyle Miller. Kyle Miller, Jeffrey Goodpaster, Bryce Senzak, all up front. Daniel Krim doing a really good job, but that 33 of Jeffrey Goodpaster on that outside has some help with Taylor Bertram.
They do. That outside line's coming. Oh, Kyle Miller makes the block on him. It looks like he wants to go to the front. Oh, it looks like we got some smoke back there. I don't know if an engine maybe just blew up
I am looking
somewhere in the
for
middle of the pack. Looks
Brian,
like it might be
the 57. And the
Yeah,
yellow flag
that
is
was-
out. The 22 with an issue. Mike Robinson. That might have been your explosion you just heard. We will get that to you momentarily if we can. We're going to take another quick commercial break, trying to get some on-the-fly fixings.
makes
From Mortar to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
RICMOTECH, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go, RICMOTECH.com.
From Mortar to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
Hey everybody, we are back. We have a good buddy of mine, Joe Hutchings, in the booth with us. We are going to try to run it off of his real fast while I get mine completely set up and going again. Kenan, what a crazy wreck we had. It was more of a complete explosion of that 22.
Yeah, as you can see, we've had a little bit of a long caution while they're doing the oil cleanup and everything on the back, trying to get this track ready for them to go racing before the end of the stage. I do think we will see them get back going as the lights on the pace car are now out, so should be an interesting little dash to the finish. But man, that's a big explosion. I know there's probably a lot of guys back at his home base who built that engine who are scratching their heads pretty hard right now.
So we are getting the one to go this time by. Joe, it's not letting me pull yours.
Here you go. I can get you a stream.
Well, no, it's not letting me pull it off of Discord. So I'm going to have to do it this way.
Hey, AJ.
Yep.
Shut down your stream in Discord.
Looks like it is stabilizing. Everybody goes off towards pit road.
Green, green, green.
And we are green. Green flag in the air. And there it goes.
This is going to be exciting. You see Kyle Miller and don't know who that is, Mom. Can't quite read it. Good passer, I believe. There are only two cars where there's about 5, 6, 7 on the outside who are all going to have a strong push coming down the backstretch.
Yeah, there they go. Getting you back to the racing momentarily.
Oh, the big one!
Big wreck!
The big one! Right out of turn 4. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I hope they're okay.
Joe, I need you to mute us in the chat. Oh, you can't. Oh, big one. Joe, can you back that up for us?
There are a lot of cars damaged. Oh, and you see contact between the 25 and the 19.
There you go.
They're trying to get going on pit road. I think they just don't have the ability to steer is what happened there. You see the 6 car.
Oh,
he just
right up the hill to
truck.
Joshua Vital and huge wreck. Oh! And it just keeps going. This is going to obviously close it for the stage. Wow.
That is a massive change in the race. There are a lot of drivers with damage now. The field is really going to be sorted out, especially once we can go through and determine who all is entirely damaged there.
Vital goes spinning. The 6 just completely gets demolished.
Yeah, it looks like the 6 just mistimed it. Too late to be able to come out of the corner. That outside line just had way too much steam. He gets turned up into the wall by the 26 of Joshua Vital. And, you know, you can't really put it on Joshua Vital. He had the run. There's nothing he can really do. He's just a force of nature with a lot of cars behind him. 6 kind of came across the nose there, and chaos ensued throughout the entire field. So certainly going to have an interesting race. It did look like there was a good handful of cars who did get through unscathed, but that affects a lot of everybody, whether you just lost your teammate to help push at the end. You're going to see a lot of drivers having to look for a different form of help coming to the finish now, this back half of the race.
Absolutely. I am trying to load back into the session again, seeing if that helps. Wow. I'm really shocked that we just had the big one this early in the race. Dude, so we're going to have pit stops before the stage. I'm really curious if some drivers are going to stay out to grab those stage points. just a little bit before the lobby reopens. We're going to try our best to bring you the coverage in its entirety the way it's intended. Huge shout out to Joe for helping us out here this evening. And Kenan, thank you for being up in the broadcast booth. I know this isn't the start you wanted, but craziness so far.
It has been quite an interesting race so far. The way this first stage just came to an end, I've been sitting here with my arms folded. I can't believe we just all watched that happen. I know the packed fans we have here right below us at Daytona International Speedway, they're all still standing on their feet. I think a lot of them have their hands on their head. They can't believe what they just watched. But you see, the caution was just displayed for extra time, so this will be the end of the stage with that caution.
And as you saw, if you were outside that top 10, they hit pit road. But if you were inside that top 10, you're staying, grabbing those points, and coming to pit road, following it, giving up that track position. But early on in the season, those points, if you can get them, grab them. Because you don't know if when we go to Chicagoland next week or in a couple weeks to Nashville, you don't know if you're going to get it. And with some of these drivers, and including myself when I'm behind the wheel, if it's a plate race, that's my best opportunity to win. Or finish well.
Daytona's always it's a roulette race. You never know what can happen. You can run the best race of your life and be involved in someone else's incident and vice versa. And it's just one of those things where we still don't know who the winner is. We're looking here at what we presume are, the top 12, 14 cars who didn't get significant damage through that wreck. But none of us really know what they've got. You can kind of see a little ding on the 40's front end. Little things like that may add up to the way they're able to push or get that extra push that they're going to need come lap 100.
Yeah, we're just about to hit lap 30 this time across. And it looks like Jeffrey Goodpaster will be your stage winner. We're going to interview him momentarily, most likely after he takes his pit stop. To be fair, to try not to mess with him. But there's your stage winner, the 33 of Jeffrey Goodpaster. I've yet to be in a league where I've ran stages. Kenan, what does it feel like to be up front and win a stage? Does that give you a little bit of that momentum boost to say, I could actually win this race?
I think at any other track than Daytona, it absolutely would. But we're at Daytona this week. It's nice to get the stage win. I think all it means is you're still in the picture to get a win for sure. But I would not feel as comfortable as I would if we were at a normal speedway track right now. The 33 knows he's going to have a lot of cars behind him that also want to win. The way the draft and the teamwork goes, it's going to be tough. And I actually want to bring to the attention, we've had the top 8 right now as they run have not pitted since lap 16. And unless I'm mistaken, I would have thought pit road has been opened by now. So I don't know if they're trying to assume that they're going to have to stop twice either way, so stay out and keep the track position. But with the wreck we just had taking out so many cars, we may see some better green flag runs, and if it comes down to green flag stops all the way to the end, the top 8 have put themselves in a really tough position where they're probably going to need about 4 or 5 seconds longer of a stop just to get the gas they need to finish the race.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, pal. And that's the strategy I'm excited to see.
It'll be interesting to see how it played out. I think you've got 2 mindsets from that. Well, I guess they all must have the same mindset that there's no way the next 70 laps are going without some sort of caution or interference.
Yeah, you ain't kidding, pal.
on the other hand, when they're thinking that, maybe pit road did just now open. Maybe they held it longer with the stage break ending. So making a smart move here. I would say no matter what, you've got your one stage break. You better take it to get your gas and put yourself in the best position to take less gas if you go green at the end.
And look at that. Coleman's going to stay out. Albritton and Gary Wells staying out after receiving... Connor Coleman last pit on the lap 16 caution. Albritton on the lap 23 caution. And Gary Wells on this last caution. So... a little bit of fun strategy as let's see about talking to the driver of the number 33. It is Jeffrey Goodpaster. Hey Jeffrey, it's AJ and Kenan in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, pal?
Hey, go ahead.
Hey, stage winner, chicken dinner. How does it feel to get that done at Daytona?
Daytona owes me one, so that's only one part of the checklist I need. But yeah.
So I'll follow up with that. How do you feel that you won the stage? Do you feel more confident that you have a chance to win? Do you feel like you have what you have either way?
Oh, more confident than ever now. Now that I can figure out how to save fuel and keep all fenders on and stay out of accidents, I should be good.
How do you feel with the wreck you just witnessed in your rearview mirror? Did you lose any of your partners, people you'd worked with early in the race?
Yeah, Dennis.
Well,
I wish you the best of luck on that. I know losing a partner, you're going to have to be finding somebody, but there's still 70 laps. I hope you make a friend out there.
That's right. Where there's a will, there's a way.
I love that. Dude. Good luck, my friend.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
All right, we are going to take another quick commercial break while they're about to grid up for the one to... Oh, I lied. Green flag in the air. Those were all penalty cars. And
that is an interesting start, single file. I wonder if everybody just waited to the last second to take their pit.
Yeah, well, with that last second pit, all those drivers are penalty vehicles. That's why they were all on the inside. It was like watching old NASCAR with everybody starting in a single file. Oh, you're just waiting for the lap cars to the inside. But with all that, we only have 15 Xfinity cars on the lead lap. Albritton all the way to 15th, Joshua Vital. Bryce Senzak, the 09, who was very strong early on in this race. 16th is 2 laps down? Am I reading that right?
A lot of people got damage in that
3
wreck.
laps down. Wow.
I think some people, the strategy when you got caught up in that wreck is to take your time, get your damage fixed. You're probably more than likely out of the race going a lap or 2 down anyways. Take your laps, and maybe before lap 90 you have a few more cars who can't finish the race and you can at least gain those back. You're just going to have to go out and churn laps by yourself and try and be out of the way. I don't want to critique the XMS series. I know this is my first broadcast and so forth, but hopefully, in future Daytona races when we do have that stage break, it'd be great to see the fans get to have that 2-wide caution, whether we need to make sure the drivers are pitting a lap earlier or whatever. Little awkward of a restart, but it looks like they did a nice job getting back side by side.
Yeah, for me, I had no clue that they were about to go green because they were single file. But hey, we heard green flag. We brought you the restart. Jeffrey Goodpaster with the stage 1 win. We are only looking at right now about 17 cars, 18 cars running on the racetrack. Kyle Zimmer in 21st all by himself just off pit road right now. It's Daytona, and they just said it in the chat on the YouTube side. Anybody with the amount of cautions can get their laps back. As long as that 09 keeps it clean, there is a very good chance we're going to have multiple more wrecks.
certainly possible, but with 28 cars that started the field, it looks like we've got 11 cars who are really maintaining any bit of the front pack with any kind of speed at the moment. So I'm not expecting the same amount of cautions, but I do think the same way we'll watch Kyle Miller get up into Vital, it can happen at any time.
I want to thank everybody. Sorry about that, Kenan. Go for it. My bad.
No, I was just saying that anytime that happens, those cars that have more damage may all of a sudden become equal. So just trying to stay out there, get your laps, keep somewhat of a speed up there, and just see what plays out. I mean, if you're in 20th right now and the right things happen to you and you can get a 17th, a 16th, it's really going to make a difference when it comes to the playoffs.
It's like me and my golf game. All it takes is a couple good holes and a couple good moments, and you're already looking forward to doing it again after some really, really bad holes.
Yeah, I'd keep an eye on Austin Karp. We haven't talked about him all day yet, but he's sitting there in 5th. He's kind of looking down low, up high. He's trying to get a run going there. You see him making a move to 4th. He's definitely going to get the 33 or stage winner for 3rd. I think he's wanting to have a say. I think he watched a lot of cars fall out, and now's his time to maybe take hold of the reins of this pack here.
Want to say thank you to everybody watching at home, whether you're on any of our social medias, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, or now at TikTok. I want to apologize for the issues earlier in the race. I know it was only about 10 or 15 laps. I want to apologize, trying to get it fixed. We'll definitely be looking into the hardware following the issue tonight. But thank you to Joe Hutchings for the assist. But up front, that 23 of Connor Coleman, and if you guys remember, early in the race, they got out of line, or at least he got out of line, fell all the way back, was about to go a lap down, and now he's up front leading this thing. Complete turn of events with that 23 Chevy Camaro with podium on the hood and the side.
DJ Torres is getting a little misaligned. Oh, and then you've got Goodpaster and Austin Karp going outside. Told you, Austin Karp, I think he wants to get to the front. Goodpaster, I think he knows he's got to hang on to somebody, and like he told us when we pulled him up into the booth, he's lost his friends. So I'd say anybody he can help right now and try and make buddies so they remember what his car looks like in the rear mirror at the end. It's only going to benefit him whether he gets the win or at least gets up front finish.
Yeah, absolutely. It stinks when you lose the people you're working with, but then it also opens the door for some strange bedfellows with these drivers. You know, maybe you never thought about working with them before, or maybe you just don't like the driver, and then poof, out of nowhere, you're like, all right, well let's go to the front.
That's just such a beautiful shot, watching them all come down the backstretch like that. Single file, holding the bottom. Everybody's giving a nice little bit of space. They're all holding the draft, maintaining speed. You can see there's a long way to go in the race, and the drivers who are left in it, especially considering the big one we had before the end of stage 1, you can tell they're ready to get to the end one way or another.
Going from our leader, Connor Coleman, you have to go all the way back to 8th place Gary Wells to finally find a driver 1 second back. And just look at that 40. The 40 of Ethan Pimpley. That front end of that Ford Mustang has seen better, way better days.
Certainly has, but you see him sucking up onto the 5 car of Bertram, and it just tells you that even with that front nose damage, he's not seeing the performance issues like we expect when these cars get a ding at Daytona. He's right up there in the pack. I don't know if he can make a move, but if he gets some help from behind, he may have a shot to still make a push at the end when everything starts getting bunched up again. They all start getting bunched up again, the lap times are going to start slowing down.
Yeah, and the thing is, with that 40, he's probably good in the draft. That car is probably perfectly fine in the draft. I don't think he could be up front and be pushed. That is just such a big parachute on the front of that Mustang. Yes, it looks like we only have one driver on that outside. It is the number 3 of Dennis Ansman. Currently in 18th, just about 8 laps down. Currently on the same lead lap as Kyle Zimmer, which Kyle Zimmer is got the leaders on the same straightaway. He's entering turn 3, and there they are, halfway down the back straightaway.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. Strategy is going to be a big part. You see, you've got Pastor now working with the 3 car of Ansman, a lap down car. Ansman must not have too much damage, but obviously being a lap down, nobody wanted to work with him, and it looks like Pastor, I'd say a lap down car is a great friend for him to find.
And if you want to jump it back to last night, we had a truck last night leading the field that if he just got passed by one person, he was a lap down. He was the last car on the lead lap. And he was leading the whole field. And it was like that for almost 20, 25 laps. It was wild.
Well, I think if Jeffrey Goodpaster does it well, you see they're coming up on lap traffic. They're going to have a tough little 3 wide here, but I think they'll get through clean.
I think so, but that 21 almost puts himself in the wall.
He does, but he's already got damage. I'm glad he stayed out of the way.
And there goes Dennis Ansman leading on the outside. Jeffrey Goodpaster looking for the top spot.
And he's got it. He's got it if he can get a good run out of 2 here with Ansman. It looks like just like last night, we're going to have a lap car leading the front of the field, and I would expect Goodpaster to stay right behind him and have no need to pass him. Save as much gas as he can from the front right behind him. You can see he's got the 4 car of Jim Ott right on his tail too. He wants a little bit of the fun, so the lap down car in front of them is only benefiting that outside line right now by giving their lead car the best fuel mileage. Coleman right now, he's just burning all the gas in the world, tearing up all that air for everybody behind him.
But look at that inside lane, put together nicely. The 29 of Joe Torres, who sat on the pole tonight, is just pushing Connor Coleman straight back up towards the front. And as there's Kyle Zimmer in the orange.
Oh, Pastor!
Oh, wow! Goodpaster didn't like that at all. He gave one hell of a bump.
Yeah, I don't think he was happy with that move, but they're racers out there. They're going to go out there. They want to be up front, and even when they're trying to take it easy, they got parts in their brains they just can't stop from taking over and bringing out the best racer in them when they make moves like that. Yeah, see that outside line with just 3 cars is really working the best compared to that bottom line. You've got the 23 of Coleman and the 29 of Torres there, but everybody else behind just can't quite seem to get there to give the bottom line the best push they can.
Yeah, now that inside lane has help, you see the 49 of Austin Albritton just leaving a little bit of a gap, kind of being a barrier from this first group to that second group of Ott and Pimpley on that inside lane. If they got together and just rode, and there goes the 23 to pit road.
And he's going to miss. Wow, he barely makes the cone. We'll see if he catches the speed on the timing line with that. It looked a little quick, but he did at least make the pit entry. The biggest thing to note there, nobody went with him. He is going to be left to dry when he comes out on pit road.
Yeah, he is he's going to be up creek, and I'm just going to leave it at that by himself. But that 88 of Carp has good passer to his outside. Then you have the 29 of Torres and Albritton right behind him. But that 3 of Dennis Ansman, sorry, is just pushing. Good passer. You know, he's multiple laps down. He's in a spot to get that lap back. He just needs to make sure that he's not the cause of the wreck. And as he keeps shading to that third lane on the outside, I'm very much afraid he's going to turn that 33. As Connor just got off pit road. And there's the pack. It's going to be like a bug on a windshield how fast they catch him. And how well they get by him.
It may not work out too bad for him. If he can find a way by the end to spread out as they are, he's going to have about a good 20, 30 seconds of this field trying to get by him while he's going by. I think he might actually at least be able to catch up the field, but he will have a problem when everyone else pits on having a slow next 2 laps while they all rejoin with him.
What's really good, and the only thing that's really good with this 23...
23 touched the wall there a little bit.
Yeah, he definitely did, and he's still falling backwards. And he's got the 25 right behind him. The only thing that's good is he's the only car on the lap that he's on. So if there's a caution, it's only him.
Yeah, the problem the 23 just made there, when he's trying to rejoin and trying to get the draft, it looks like his car should have the speed, but these cars are just so heavily reliant on the side draft. You can't be too close. You don't want to start a wreck.
Oh, he just took a heck of a pop. That put damage on the back.
He is either off the pace in some means, or he should have been closer to that inside line as they went by. He could have picked up the side draft, maybe gotten himself up to a little better speed, but it looks like with that move, he's going to leave himself and the 25 car of Kyle Zimmer left to dry. You can see Zimmer, he's trying to push him as much as he can to make sure that he just hangs on in some way, but I think both cars must have must be down a cylinder or something.
Yeah, I think Zimmer at some point just needs to get by the 23, especially if he's getting held up that much. But they're pulling back into the 73, so as I say that, just completely null and void there.
Yeah, it looks like we made the wrong call, but I think they may have gotten lucky. We've been focusing on them on the back. I do think there was a little bit of jumbling going on up front where there may have been a little more checking up than they probably should have been, because they certainly left a big enough gap. They were highly at risk of losing the draft.
Yeah, they were. We just passed halfway. Glad to have you all with us. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, follow, do all that wonderful stuff you can to help push All-Star 15 TV and XMS up the algorithm so more people can enjoy this wonderful racing we have at Daytona tonight and in future races.
And as always, you the fans watching us, you're the reason we're here. We want to provide you with some great entertainment. We've had a great race tonight. Huge wreck already once, and we've still got quite a good field. Looks like they've settled down for the moment, but don't think this is how it'll be all the way till the end of the race.
Oh, no. Intensity is going to pick up right when they come to pit road. Because who's going to hit pit road with who? Or is everybody just going to just populate pit lane at the same time? And that's going to be pure chaos.
Well, I have to ask you, AJ, we've just gone past the halfway point by a couple of laps. You and I, we've been standing up here above the 200,000 plus fans that have all come to join us to watch this race at XMS tonight. Who do you think's going to pull it off? Who do you feel like setting themselves up to be the winner?
Well, to answer your question, yes. Anybody within the vicinity of the lead lap has a shot to win, but if you're making me twisting my arm, I know nobody can really see it at home, but if you're going to twist my arm and I have to pick one, it's got to be Joe Torres. He's on pole. He started on pole, currently running in that second position. That 29 has been fast, and outside of hitting pit road, he's been within that top 5, if not top 3, this whole entire race. So that 29, whether it's out front or pushing another vehicle, is killing it tonight. What about you, Kenan?
I can only base it off of the stat sheet. There's two people that really stand out to me. The one I'm going to go with is Austin Albritton. He's gained 23 spots from where he started. He's not really up there making any crazy moves, but he's still up front running fourth right now. I think he likes the position he's in. I don't think he's shown his full hand yet of what he's capable of. The other person obviously would be Jim Ott. Jim Ott, he's gained 18 positions. He's also been someone we've hardly had to mention making any kind of move, high line to low line, but yet they're still right there up in the top 5. Those two guys are the ones to really key in for me, and I think Austin's got the chance to win it today.
Yeah, and with it being Daytona, we might have just picked and cued in on a couple drivers that have caught our eye and that we wanted to focus on. But pit stops are starting. Thwaites, Fox, and Senzak now hitting pit road. It's literally anybody's game. If you're just in spitting distance of the lead lap or even the top 10, you have a huge shot at winning. And especially with these green flag pit stops that we're about to endure, anything can happen. Cars can spin out, cars can speed. You could accidentally take too much fuel or accidentally take tires. If you were me, I'm just taking fuel and get me back out on the racetrack.
Yeah, tires aren't an issue here. You're not going to want tires. The biggest thing is making sure that fuel crew chief can get that thing loaded with as much fuel as he can all the way through the lines. That every ounce of fuel you don't have to add to that car come your last pit stop is only just tenths of a second on the track. So that's really where it's going to play out. And I wrote it in my little notebook here when we were watching practice before we went live earlier. A lot of the drivers did not practice pit stops like I would have expected. You don't expect them to do practice pit stops. These guys are professional drivers. They're driving in an Xfinity Series car. But a lot of guys, you just got to get used to that feel of the brakes. It's the first race of the season when it counts the most on the final pit stop, and you really got to get in there hard. I'm not sure how many guys spend a lot of time in practice making sure they're prepared for that situation.
More drivers hitting pit road. Albritton in 11th on pit road. Thwaites is still sitting on pit road. Trying to figure out why. There he goes. Might have been a speeding penalty where they held that 99. Kenan, I will be right back. The broadcast is all yours for like the next 2 minutes. I am needed in the other room, unfortunately. But it is all yours. I have it set on these leaders. I will be right back, everybody. I apologize.
All right, guys. Well, I guess the floor is all mine. So we see Austin Karp is working his way by Bryce Senesac, a lap-down car at the moment. It looks like the field will get by him safely. Joe Torres just staying right behind him. I think fuel strategy is entirely what he is looking for right here. Let Austin Karp do all the work for him. Let him save as much as he can, because back to everything I keep running back to, it's all about how little fuel you'll take if things stay green on that final pit stop. As you see them coming down the backstretch there, they're all quite spaced out. Nobody's really trying to form a line. Nobody's really making too hard of a push, which is a little surprising to me. They're kind of allowing the top 3 to get a breakaway here. As you see, they're moving to the outside to get past the lap traffic of Alan Fox. I'm going to take the line. We're going to have 41 laps to go. Or I suppose 42, excuse me, correction. And I don't foresee much changing right now. I think everybody's looking at a fuel window in the next 20 and 25 laps. We're going to have to see what things play out as. You've essentially got a good group of 6 cars right now leading well. And maybe a mix of some slower cars behind. You see the back half of the pack is starting to form up a little bit. We'll see if they try and make a real run with it, or if they're really just trying to find a way being so far back to just kind of keep the car speed and momentum up. You see they all go filed back in line as they cross, get 41 to go. Austin Karp is your leader. Joe Torres, Jeffrey Goodpaster, Jim Ott, Ethan Pinley, Caleb Hott, Paul Irvin, Gary Wells, Brian Wasserman, and Taylor Bertram, your top 10. It's been that way for the last several laps now. Not a whole lot of change in the running order as they go. Currently working lap 60 of 100 here in the XMS Xfinity Series. A lot of space between cars. You do see the 73 lap down car of Alan Fox kind of pulling outside. And you see a big dive by 5 cars. Oh my goodness, you do see the 3 car coming in very, very hot. We'll have to see how that shakes out on the penalty, but I cannot imagine that's good. Maybe he's looking to get damage. We were watching the 88 of Jim Ott, or the 4 of Jim Ott, take his pit stop. Does look like he's choosing to take tires here, which is a little surprising. Maybe just right sides and fuel. I suppose if you have to take that much time for fuel, you may as well get some tires, at least half of them. It's not going to make too big of an advantage for him. And certainly won't slow down the pit time if you're having to wait on fuel anyways. As you see, it gets about a 6 car length gap over the 33 of Goodpaster. They're going to all want to be cautious coming on this apron. Don't want to go over the yellow line. Don't want to exceed the limits. Do anything that would get you in any kind of trouble. Had a great pit stop. He knows he's coming out on the lead. He's going to be by himself. So he knows there's going to be a group of people behind him that will get to him. You do see Goodpaster and Dennis Hansman. I brought it up earlier. It's nice to make a friend that's a lap down, and sometimes like this, it looks like Goodpaster found his replacement friend for tonight after his friend and teammate was wrecked out earlier before stage 1.
4 drivers hitting pit road, and I think this completes the pit cycle with Ott, Pimpley, and Hat all on pit road right now. And that's going to open it back up to Ott being your leader. But that 88 of Karp, Goodpaster, Torres are starting to get linked up, and a full head of steam heading right towards Ott and Thwaites. And mind you, Thwaites is the last car on the lead lap. But thank you, Kenan, for covering for me.
That's a really good pit stop by that group. It looks like there's a group of about 8 cars forming behind them. We'll see if they can keep single file and these guys stay double file and whether they get to them. But that is actually quite a good little round of pit stops that everybody had there. May have been a little shake up in position in the top 10, but everybody's still in that main pack, and that's really where you want to be. Looking at just under 40 laps to go. You've got one more pit stop. You're looking at about pitting and needing 11, 12 laps of fuel possibly. A very close call with the lap car they all try to clear. I don't think the back half of that pack saw that he was there on the bottom holding his line. So that was a great job by everybody getting around him clean, but did create a little separation in that bottom line. I think they'll all get back together though nicely. And actually that was a lead lap car, excuse me, not a lap down car. That was Albritton, who was probably making a very good move for himself by staying on the bottom to make sure he created a little congestion, made a friend. He's going to be able to push back up to the front there.
Oh, yeah.
He's got something right in front of him, I believe that is. Or, excuse me.
But thank you for covering for me, pal, while we were talking with some of the officials. With the back half of this race, it's been very calm, very smooth. I know we only have about 15 to 17 drivers on the track. That is still
there's a very close call there with Jim Ott. You can see they all had to check up very squirrely. Oh my goodness, that could have just been tremendous. Yeah, let's go back and look at it.
Gotta go find Jim Ott here.
We've got him right there in the 4. Just gets a little loose I don't know if the replay guys are able to go back a second or two before and see if he had any help with that, or whether that was just the way the track's been hot all day. It's finally maybe starting to take rubber and just get slicker and slicker. Yeah, it looks like he did it all on his own. Just little loose, touched the apron, and
the
did a
five never
heck of a
moved.
job. Heck of a job gathering it together. Great job by the guys behind him by not running him over either. That's really good racing. You can tell everybody's trying to make it to the end of the race when they're willing to lift like that.
I thought we were about to lose another couple cars there, pal. Wow.
So do we have a confirmed pit window? It looks like everybody's pitted between lap 57 and 60. So we're looking at a possible pit window of 28 to 30 laps.
Yep.
Yeah, you're looking at about needing 12 laps of fuel. A lot of these crew guys, they're looking down there. They look at those big tanks they hold up to them. They don't know exactly how much fuel they're putting in the car. They kind of do, but it's only based on time. So it's just a matter of whether you get that timing right. You can't underfuel the car. You overfuel the car, you're going to lose these guys in the draft. And I think it just showed it with how good they did the last set of pit stops.
Well, let me raise you this one. Do you take extra fuel so you don't have to pit if there are multiple green-white checkers? In XMS, the RICMOTECH Xfinity series, there are 2 possible attempts for a green-white checkered. Do you take a little bit more fuel to cover those? Or do you just risk it and get out faster and hope that we stay green?
If I were a crew chief sitting on the box, I'm only fueling the car enough that I can get 100 laps and maybe enough that the car will get about a 7-second burnout right in front of the fans. If we get to overtime with the field size we have, I think I'm willing to come down and have to get a little bit of extra fuel. But I think you're just giving up too much of a risk with the smaller fuel size. We haven't had the cautions like we did in the first third of the race. I don't want to spend any more time on pit road than I have to, and if I can do it again under caution, I'll do it then.
Oh, a little squirrely on the outside. The 4 almost up in the wall trying to catch it. But that's 88 of Carp also having issues being pushed by Joe Torres. Every time Torres hits that back bumper, that 88 gets squirrely.
They're only going to get swirlier and swirlier as we get closer to the race. You're going to see harder and harder pushes. The track's only getting more and more rubber laid down. As little as these tires do wear, that little bit of rubber makes all the world of a difference when you're going close to 190, 200 miles an hour down this Daytona International Speedway super stretch. I think Tarp actually got him that time, which is worth noting because it's a 3 versus 6 car battle, 3 versus 7 car battle now between the top and the bottom, and the top is really making it work, and you can see it right there on your TV screen. Look at the gap between the top 3 cars on the outside line and the top 3 on the bottom line. And then you've got the 4 cars behind them with just another car length between each other. If they're not able to form a line, they're only not hurting themselves if they aren't the leader of that. Wow, and Carp goes down to make the block, which is interesting. As I'm telling you, that line is not working the best right now. So I'd look for him to probably get stuck there and see the 29 of Joe Torres get to the front here.
And Ott is shoving that 29 to the front, has the lead entering the tri-oval, and gets that lap win. As they fly down into turn 1, the 88 a little squirrely on entry.
do think the one advantage there, Austin Karp going to the bottom, it gave that bottom line an 8th car versus now only 2 on the top, but they did get a run out of the backstretch. You can just see it. The bottom line is just so dysfunctional as, oh my goodness. Austin Karp about gets turned right there. That's a great save. I think the bottom line needs to just take a moment, readjust, breathe, get themselves in line, and be ready to get on each other's bumper because they were not moving forward with the way they were designed to run right there. Man, AJ, that could have been really bad that last lap, though. That has a lot closer than I think a lot of our viewers probably even realize how.
Yeah, 9 cars in this pack, and we probably would have lost almost half of them.
Easily.
And you go from 1st to 9th under a second. Then you have Alan Fox in the 73 and the 23 of Connor Coleman. Those are our lead lap drivers, and they are surrounded by lap down vehicles. Michael Waits is right there. He's 1 lap down. Caleb Hatt's right there. Also 1 lap down. And Ethan Pimpley being pushed around by Kyle Zimmer. It looks like Joshua Vidal's hitting pit road.
Yeah, I was just actually looking at him on the timing and scoring there. He's off the pace by a few laps, but he was actually holding up the speed, but I have a feeling he just a little mistimed on the fuel, but he should be able to pit here and be good to the end. But just nobody to go with him, and being multiple laps down, nobody would go with him. I also want to highlight here, out of the top 9, 5 of the top 9 have gained more than 10 positions from their starting spot in this race, which I know we did have the big one there, but that big one involved practically everybody, and I think that's a real testament that the start, where you start is and where you always finish, and these guys obviously have the speed and ability to get a win today, and it looks like most of them are coming from the back. I mean, you got Jim Ott, he's gained 21 positions. Paul Irvin, 25. Austin Karp, 22. Gary Wells, 11. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. They're all chasing Joe Torres, the pole sitter of today's race. And I think that could be Joe Torres' problem. A lot of these guys were in the back, worked with each other all the way to the front through the mess of today's race. And I'd look for them to all work to get one of them a win before they let Joe Torres get a win.
I'm excited. We're coming to 25 to go. This whole stage has been nothing but phenomenal. A couple sketchy moments, just like a couple laps ago with Karp. But the high-speed Tetris that we've seen on the racetrack tonight has been absolutely phenomenal. Joe Torres being around that 1st position, maybe all the way back to that 5th position. And like you said, our whole top 9 that is together is either where they started or plus positions. That's insane.
I think it'll be interesting. My timing screen here doesn't give me exactly the teammates, and unfortunately a little new. Don't know exactly who is teammates with teammates of the top 9. But we're looking at it with 25 to go. About 10 laps from now, those fuel tanks are empty enough that all of these drivers will have plenty of space to just add their 12 laps worth of fuel, however much each team deems that to be. That between the next 10 laps from now to 15 laps from now, it'll be very interesting to see if you see 2 cars dive off, 3 cars dive off, a couple guys try and get together and maybe separate themselves and see if they can make a smoother pit entry and take just enough gas so they get that little bit of breakaway. It's only 9 cars. If the rest of the 9 cars can't get grouped together, we may see this race finish with 2 or 3 packs of 4.
It looks like Kelly Akron coming down pit road in the 19.
Yeah, he's just had a tough day in that Toyota Supra. It's been a tough day, but he's been out there grinding. He's gotten laps. He's still up 9 positions from where he qualified, so you'd like to think, all things considered, he's going to be glad that he at least somehow comes out of Daytona with with some sort of positive points to start the season.
Joe Darnell, still your race leader. We're going to step away for a moment. Going to throw it to the sponsors. Glad to have you with us. Hit that like button, subscribe, follow. We will be right back.
RICMOTECH high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go. RICMOTECH.com.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit
From Mordor to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit XTREMESCORING.info today.
We are back, everybody. 19 to go as they cross the line. You're watching All-Star 15 TV's broadcast of the XMS RICMOTECH Xfinity Series from Daytona International Speedway, the World Center of Racing. Joe Torres, Ott, Karp, Irvin, Wells, your top 5. Wasserman, Bertram, Albritton, Goodpaster, and Fox, your top 10. And then we hit some lap traffic, as you see on the timing and scoring pylon on the left side of your screen. This has been a crazy race. The big one happens in stage 1, and we've been green since the stage. Green flag pit stops. Uh-oh.
Joe Ott through the grass. We'll see if he can hold it. It looks like he slowed it down. I don't see it being an issue. He lost a lot of spots there.
Yeah,
lost a lot of spots there, but that's really great driving to maintain control and not lose it back up into the track.
Ken, and you might be new to this, but there's a thing called broadcaster's curse. You mention something, and then it happens.
Yeah, we may have just cursed him there, but I think he might have gotten a little bit of help. Yeah,
Oh,
you
he
see,
did.
you could see he got that little bit of bump as he came down, and the car's wheels just weren't quite straight enough. That little bit of momentum exchange just pushed him right through the grass. Let's check up though. We'll see if he has anybody. Jim Ott has anybody that wants to fall back and work with him. But as you see, a couple cars fall off the pit lane. He's got some speed. He might be able to push somebody and maybe make a run.
Alan Fox, Michael Thwaites, and
There's the start of the pit window.
Pit road.
Start of the pit window.
Like you
That's
mentioned,
interesting.
Jim Ott has that 93, got him back up to a draftable position, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see that for make his way back up towards the front. Yeah, we're in the pit window. We could see anybody start hitting pit road and make it towards the finish. Glad to have you all here. We were up towards that 25, almost 30 people watching at one point. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, subscribe so you don't miss any XMS Racing. As Paul Irving,
We got more diving off.
Brian Wasserman, Albritton, and Bertram all coming through pit road. Ryan Fry cutting the grass.
Wow, that's just really unfortunate for him. He's going to have to go all the way back around. He missed the pit stop. I guess thankfully he may have avoided the cone, so he may not get penalized, but his day, unless something different changes, is absolutely done with
his day
that
has been over by a long shot. He is 14 laps down, just riding around to try to gain as much points as possible.
True. May still benefit him, though. I didn't realize he was that far down since he was pitting with some of the lead lap cars, but if he can just keep it going and take what he's got, he'll be all right. There comes the pole sitter, Joe Torres. Comes down, stops it very nicely, but 3 cars behind him hang on very tightly. They should all come back out together. Biggest difference is how long are they going to spend on pit road?
Yeah,
you taking 7.9 gallons, you taking 9.1 gallons. Where's the fine line at?
Are still on the racetrack. They are with a couple lap down vehicles. They have to hit pit road soon. They are at a significant disadvantage with these lap down cars, and there's only a couple of them.
Yeah, you can see now that the pack's gotten small enough, the 3 of them are just pulling away. I'd expect to see them this time, and if they don't, they absolutely the next time. And you see one of them drops off, and the other 2 stay out. That's interesting. I don't think that's a great move by Austin Karp.
Ott just came down. He's pitting from that second position with the 40 of Ethan Pimpley. But Karp, all he has is Joshua Vital. That's it. That 26. While the car looks a lot better than it did earlier when he was upside down, he's still just about 10 laps down as they're catching Taylor Bertram, who is on the lead lap. As the yellow flag is out.
Yellow flag? Oh my goodness, this just messes everything up.
Oh! Uh-oh, back up the
racetrack. Oh, the 48 car of Paul Irvin. Oh no. You just hate to see that. Paul Irvin was having such a good day. Such a good day, and you hate to see the other 2 cars involved.
Trying to get a view of this. Did he get a bad...
So he had the 3 of Dennis Ansman. His day been worse for a while. It only got worse there.
Oh! What? Did he just lose it? Or did he get tapped?
Oh, let's see if we can go to the cockpit cam. Let's try and see what he was looking from his view there.
See the 49 of Albritton will jump on the cockpit. Does he get into the 48? Even if it's a little bit of netcode. Wow!
I don't think he was touched at all. I think that's just the detriment. I have a feeling that obviously the drivers weren't changing tires. They're on old tires. They go down pit road. They cool down a little bit. They're getting back out on the racetrack, and sometimes those things they've been running the bottom all day long, and they switch to the top, and the car's a lot looser than they're expecting.
Yeah, we're on board with that 48 right now, Paul Irvin. Oh, yeah, it just gets light.
Just entirely light, trying to enter on the outside. He's probably been working those tires so hard all day on the bottom.
The 99.
Took the high side. It's a little wider. The car's going to be a lot lighter when it enters, holding onto the wall, and you have all the aero of being behind the car in front of you. That it's just a bad mix of variables. It's going to really create bad consequences sometimes.
Yeah, the 99 gets hit. The 25 of Zimmer and the 3 of Ansman all involved in this wreck.
Yeah. You just hate to see it for Zimmer and Ansman because they actually showed they had speed, and I thought those guys were going to be role players in helping one of the lead lap cars win the race because they were a few of the cars that survived the stage 1 wreck and repaired their damage and still came out with speed, and they're not going to be available for other cars to be able to use. You think about Goodpaster. He's been looking for a friend all race. His friend just got hit there. They'd been working together good. I can't imagine. Well, either way, the lap down car isn't going to beat the lead lap car, and now he's not there to be behind him. It's a small field. It's going to be an interesting fight to the finish, and we'll see where the alliances lay between these 5.
Gary Wills and Brian Wasserman stay out under this caution, but everybody else on the lead lap start with Carp, Ott, Torres, Goodpaster, Albritton, Fox, Bertram, Coleman, and obviously Paul Irvin have come down pit road to get service. Now, under a caution, when everything is going to get bunched back up, is that the prime moment to take tires, or are you still worried about track position when you hit the racetrack again?
If you feel confident in the way you've been having to drive the car and haven't been forced into a lot of awkward positions, I think you're feeling pretty confident with the tires you have. You have 12 laps to go. You're not going to come down pit road after making your final pit stop and know you're still good to the race. Overtime isn't guaranteed. I'd still bet I'd stay out, take the track position, and if overtime comes, get a little extra fuel. The field's gotten very small. I think you can run from 8th or 9th to the front in a lap or two, given the right circumstances. And I think everybody's playing that same thing. Take what you've got right now. Hope you can just run it to the full finish at lap 100. If you have to race to lap 102 or 103, you'll have to worry about that when you're pitting on lap 99.
And lights are off on the iRacing official pace car. We are going green next time by. Gary Wells in that 27, taking the inside. Wasserman in the 57. Going to take the outside of row number 1.
I do think to add with that incident, we don't have access to the SMP data, but I do think a lot of these drivers are having to do just a slight little bit of lifting when they're entering turn 3 or even turn 1. Just if they are having a car in front of them, they're all on old tires, but it's not necessarily stopping the drafting ability or the momentum. It's just a different ability to drive the car, and I think he may have just been on the gas all the way through there, and being on the outside line may have contributed as a factor. Many people lifting different scenarios to make sure to keep the car straight. Stay on the gas too much, you're going to get those rear wheels out, and once they go out, you're losing it.
This is going to be fun. We're going to get the green with 10 to go. And we're going all the way to the finish, fine if there's another caution or not. But everybody should be able to make it on fuel. That's not the issue. I don't think we are done wrecking at all. When it comes to these super speedways, as long as there are vehicles on the racetrack, somebody's going to go for a hole that isn't quite there just to win the race. Remember, it is a win and you're in formula with the only you have to make a certain amount of races. That pace car is about to duck down pit road to close out our 4th caution, and we are green once again. Gary Wells with an excellent launch. Can't get that far ahead or they are going to blow by him. Ott right behind him in the number 4 Chevy Camaro.
Outside line. Wasserman just did not get going on the restart there. I don't know whether he missed a shift. Maybe he was trying to play some funny stuff at the top, get with the guy he wants to be with. But that outside line just entirely from the start just would not get going on the green flag.
Yeah, right now Carp is that first vehicle on that outside lane. Then it drops it back to the 33 of Goodpaster, the 5 of Bertram, and the 73 of Alan Fox. As here comes that outside lane, Goodpaster with a heck of a shove going into turn 3.
Yeah, you see they're 2x2x2. Joe Torres sitting there on the bottom, 4th in line. You know, he's been up front all race. This isn't necessarily a position he's been used to. Probably not necessarily familiar with the 6 cars running in front of him right now. So he's got a little bit of a challenge to figure out how he's working himself back to the front of the lead pack.
Gary Wells on the inside lane with the Off and Turn 1 podcast on the hood. That podcast can be listened every Saturday or Sunday, depending on when the NASCAR Cup race takes place following it. Him and Mike Campigio right here on the All-Star 15 TV channel.
You see it, Jim Ott had the drive through the grass. He lucked out with that caution. He's second car on the inside line. He's right there pushing. He's in a great opportunity to win this race. I think he's got a great opportunity with the misfortunes he's had. He's still up front. He's playing it right. He's up front enough to not be caught. And what could be the big one we may see here, because things are going, the ante's only going up every time we watch the ticker go down.
Absolutely, with 8 to go, almost even crossing at the line. Wells on the inside, Carp to the outside. Goodpaster with a heck of a push going into turn 1. Got the 88 a little squirrely as they head down the back straightaway with 8 to go. That 88 is blinking out just a tad. That's got to be sketchy for Goodpaster.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just sitting here watching it from the booth right now. I'm seeing Gary Wells in front, and I just think about myself as a racer, and it may seem easy to hold the gas pedal down 100% leading the race, but you just know that right foot's just got a little bit of a shake to it. You're leading, you're coming to 7 to go. You're in the best spot of the house. Nothing's in front of you. It can only happen behind you. It's a nerve-wracking feeling.
I mean, I'm nervous for everybody in the field. And I'm not even... That's a true statement. I am nervous because I want everybody to be able to at least make it to the finish. Cross the line upside down, backwards, on your side. I don't care. Just make it to the finish.
I think you can see the last 70 laps we've been calling for what we've watched in the last 2 laps. It's been quite a boring race the other laps now that we're seeing this. These guys are all up there door by door just looking for any push. You can see the guys midway through this field. They're just peeking out left and right. They're trying to see if that middle lane's open. Maybe if they peek out enough, they see a car behind them, peek out with them, and they say, it's time to go. We have to go, and the only way through is through the middle.
Now, Kenan, answer me this. That 88, the last 3 laps in a row, has had the run of his life coming out of turn 4. Goodpaster gets there, gives him a shot. How do they hold on to that? Because it seems like every time they get towards turn 1, it's gone, completely gone.
I think we're seeing the engines are heating up.
There it goes!
Oh, and there's the big wreck!
Caution, yellow flag.
Oh my goodness, we saw it just as you said it. The 33 Goodpaster got taken out from the inside line. Looked like there may have been some sort of little slip up, and same with Jim Ott. He was loose earlier in the race. I think the later the race has gone on, his car has just gotten looser and looser. He's right there on the 27 of Gary Wells. He lifts off, gets on that apron, comes up the track, and just takes out a good 7-8 cars. Some of them are lap cars. It looks like we maybe had 4 or 5 for sure clean cars get through that incident. But that's just that little touch. It's almost, I think Jim Ott almost pushed the 27 of Gary Wells a little too hard into the corner. By the time they got to the corner entry, he had no air on that front nose at all. And you can just, oh, he blew the engine. The engine blew. Wow. You didn't see the smoke like you'd expect of an engine blowing, but the engine did blow, as you can see. I think he was just... We've been sitting here getting antsy about it the last 6 laps, AJ. They've been pushing, and he pushed a little too hard.
I never thought about an engine blowing.
When you're a driver and the engine blows, not a whole lot you can do as a driver, and you hate that it happened that far front up in the field.
We gotta see this from Alan Fox's point of view. This was from Jim Ott. Alan Fox in the 73 Doobie Chevy Camaro. You could see the Ford, the second in line on the inside, blows the motor and just nothing.
Nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. As much as we've sat here all race, we talk about every point mattering, every little bit matters. You hope that by making it this far in the race, a guy like Alan Fox is able to at least salvage, or if he can't continue the race, he'll come out with some sort of respectable mid-pack finish.
Good pass.
But let's face it, it's Daytona, and everybody knows, even when it comes to the last lap, you can go from second to last, all in a heartbeat, and that's just what we witnessed.
There's the 33, a good passer. Wasserman in the 57. Paul Irvin to try to fix some more of that damage. But right now, the only lead lap cars on the track right now is Wells, Karp, Torres, Albritton, and Coleman. 5 cars. And this is normal Daytona. Don't just think this is a wreck fest, because it's not. It has been a very awesome, clean event. We've had 4 cautions for incident and 1 for the stage. But the wrecks we've had have been absolutely disgusting with the carnage that they have.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we look back to the keys to victory that we had at the beginning of the broadcast. Avoid the big one, control the race, and keep your track position late in the race. I think that's what we're about to witness. I think with the caution we had after a lot of the green flag pit stops, plus this caution, I think all the drivers feel good. They don't need to pit right now. They're good to do this restart and 1 green-white checkered minimum if it comes down to it. And that's exactly what we see. Nobody taking pit road right there. So I think this race is kind of entirely lined up just how we'd predict it. I don't think any of us expected it to probably come down to a 5-car shootout. I do think it makes it a little interesting, being that we will probably only have 2 laps to go when they do take the green flag. That third car is going to have time to make a very big difference on who it helps, who it doesn't help. Maybe it takes advantage of all 4 and tries to get to the front itself.
We just jumped on board with the 29 of Joe Torres right behind Wasserman. Watch this.
Yeah, you see the oil blow through the hood there, that smoke. That when you see that color smoke as a driver, you just know that's not good.
And the seas parted for the 29.
Has the pole sitter has had a day. I think at this point, we've kind of looked at who we've gotten. I will say my pick, Albritton, still seems to be right in it. Joe Torres, the pole sitter, still has very much of a chance. I think even though it's 5 drivers, we're about to witness a really great finish for the start of the XMS series.
So next week on the channel, we go to Chicagoland Speedway. From a 2.5 super speedway to a 1.5 beautiful cookie cutter of a racetrack. I know I'm going to get some slack with saying that. Multi-grooved racetrack, and the backstretch is slightly curved, so it's a little bit different than our normal 1.5 miles.
Well, like they say, if you ever been up to Joliet, Illinois, you talk to the people around Chicagoland Speedway, you ask them what they think about it. As there's a wreck under caution. As they're exiting turn 4 way in the back. Doesn't involve any of the leaders. We'll have to get back and see what may have happened there, but it is going to delay the green by a lap, which is going to give us a 2-lap. Well, the pace car's coming in.
Coming right back out.
Maybe the pace car will come back out. We will. We'll just have to check with race control on what their call is with that, as things really got jumbled up coming to green there.
Oh, there it is.
93 getting into good pasture.
The
93 car of Caleb Hott just.
See this 33. Did his car just die? Did his motor just expire as well?
Can we go back and try and get an in-car camera of the 93 real quick? I know we're about to go green here in a moment. Oh.
Did he accidentally kill the motor?
I don't. That is a very interesting car engine sound. It sounded like the motor almost dropped power for a moment and picked right back up. I don't know whether maybe he's got a fuel injector issue. Maybe something's going on with the motor there. Maybe the fuel pickup. Maybe he's running a little lower on fuel than we thought.
I got nothing on that one.
But wow, we'll have to try and reconcile with race control after the race on what the incident was there and whether there's any kind of reprimand for that kind of incident being under caution.
Like the only thing that popped into my head was the windows shutting down sound. Dun 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 dun. But we are.
It appeared that way, but it seemed that he had control of the car. It seemed like the car may have messed up. Maybe he had an engine issue. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm sure a lot of guys on pit crew and his box right now are really scratching their heads on what they were all just watching on the TV at the pit box.
Yeah, very much.
But here we are.
Very much so. Stay tuned after the checkered. We're going to talk to our podium finishing drivers, Gary Wells, Austin Karp, your front row, and we are green once again. A little bit of a later start for the 27 is going to work in his advantage. He's taking a car length advantage from Joe Torres.
Call it an advantage, but there's 2 to go, and there's 5 people behind him that want to be right where Gary Wells is right now.
9 cars on the lead lap as we sit. All we have to do is make it around one more time, and the next flag will end the race, and they just all completely ditched the 27.
Gary Wells is going to fall to the back. I think this can, if he can find the help behind him, this works out to his advantage. I'm the kind of driver where I don't want to be leading when we take the white flag. I want to be the guy who knows I have a chance to make that final lap run given the opportunity.
Joe Torres coming out of turn 4 to the line. White flag in the air.
You can see Albert, and he's just giving him every bit he can on the bumper. He's going to make sure he knows it's there. It's just a matter of when he pulls out and what kind of help he has to make the move. 2 cars pull out with Albert, and he's going to the front. Torres is going to be left hung out to dry. Just a matter of when he does it and if he can get to the line first.
Wells just pulled out of line. Karp also pulls out of line.
Karp is going to get the run. He's going to get the run down the backstretch, and if he doesn't, he will definitely have a run out of 4. The car behind him is right on there. It's just not right behind him, but he's got to get the side draft. He's got to get a side draft.
Out of turn number 4 for the final time.
Oh, they're sliding. He pulls to the outside.
And Joe Torres is going to win the Daytona 250.
The pole sitter and the winner. That's a phenomenal race by Joe Torres. That's unbelievable. That man ran a perfect race. Stayed out of all the trouble, put himself in the right spot. Congratulations to that man. He owned Daytona for the XMS League tonight.
Your hard charger, Austin Albritton, finishing in that second position, plus 25. And then the 88 of Austin Karp finishing in that third spot.
Everybody wants to win at Daytona, but if I was Austin Albert and you came up 25 spots, you got a second place. The car's clean. You're going to be able to make some minor adjustments to it and be able to bring it back here the next time we're at a super speedway. That's a great finish by him. Great job, Austin Albert and Austin Karp privateer teams, and Paul Irvin. 3 of the top 5 privateer teams. Makes you wonder what the teamwork matters, when it comes to a super speedway. So that's really good running for that group.
Before we talk to our podium finishers, let's run down the finishing order, the race results for the Daytona 250, the XMS RICMOTECH Xfinity Series. Joe Torres, Austin Albritton, Austin Karp, Gary Wells, Paul Irvin, Brian Wasserman, Connor Coleman, Taylor Beatram, Jeffrey Goodpaster running out that top 10, Caleb Hatt. What does it mean to win at Daytona? It's a win and you're in. You just have to make a certain amount of races. But to start the season with a win, what does it mean?
I think Joe Torres, it's Daytona, it's always a Russian roulette. but I think at the same time it's a phenomenal statement for the team to make. Everybody's gonna go back, get ready for next week. They're all excited as can be. They can't believe they showed up. They did this race. They finished the race. They won the race. Everybody's gonna be on such a high. Sparta Esports, you know they're all gonna enjoy this night, and they're gonna be really excited to get the car ready to go back next week and be able to win again.
Just waiting for Austin and Carp to join the staging room. We can get a word with them.
I'm looking forward to getting the opportunity to ask Austin Carp. I think all of us sitting here watching the stream right now, myself included, we're just wondering, maybe in the back of his mind he doesn't think he should have done something a little bit different to have been able to have gotten that win. Maybe he shouldn't have hung around too long in the back. Not the back, but, behind the leader. Maybe he should have made his move a little bit earlier. It'll be interesting to see. And looks like Joe Torres maybe burned off the right rear on the thing. I see a lot of smoke coming out of that vehicle. So he is obviously excited that he got this win. It's a big deal for him.
Yeah, what a finish. What a finish. A lot of stuff could have happened. We could have gone an extra... We could have gone a green, white, checkered attempt or two. But no, with all the competition that we had, they were able to keep everything going the right way. A couple of these cars completely sideways. I thought we were going to have a wreck. We didn't. And we stay green all the way to the checkered with Joe Torres winning. But we're going to take our second place finisher. Don't.
They're all three in the staging room. We can pull third.
Third is
Or
here.
no. Sorry, excuse me. There are three.
But let's pull
staging
in.
room.
Let's pull in P2. Would you like the honors to interview P2?
Yeah, I'd be glad to. I appreciate the opportunity.
All right, here is Austin Alberton, driver the number 49. Take it away.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's going on, Austin Alberton? This is Kenan Miller. We've been up here in front of 200,000 fans just below us from the press box. And that was an exciting finish. We saw a couple big wrecks. We know only 5 drivers were really in the competition in that last restart. But really, just got to ask you, what do you think you could have done differently? Maybe wish you'd gotten the win, and how do you feel about second place here?
I probably could have pulled out a line a little bit earlier to get around Joe, but I've known Joe for a long time, probably 5 or 6 years, so I was okay with where I was. If someone was next to me and I didn't have a run, I would have just shoved him the whole time. So I was committed to that. It's okay.
That's good. I'm glad you were really happy. I was looking at the stat sheet while you were saying that, and you gained 25 positions off of where you started earlier today. Do you feel like in a lot of ways you just feel happy you survived a race of attrition?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that was kind of the goal going into it. We knew we were going to have to start scratch because I didn't make the duels. I actually just signed up today for the league. So we knew we were going to start scratch, and the goal was just, if we can finish, great. If we got a top 5, we'd be even happier.
That's fantastic. And I'll just follow it up with that with obviously given it's Daytona, it's a little bit of Russian roulette. You came out 25 ahead of where you started. But how do you feel like this sets you up going into the rest of every race leading to the playoffs?
Yeah, man, I feel like Daytona is kind of just a toss-up. You're better off just closing your eyes and driving around. You'll finish in the same spot, I think. Every other track, I feel like I'm confident at. I'll be okay from here on out. I do have some strong suits and have some weaknesses, but I think Daytona is one of the weaknesses.
Hey, man, Austin, you had an absolutely phenomenal run. Second place, nothing to be ashamed of at all. Hard charger through the field, more gain positions than anybody. Second place is an absolutely perfect spot to put yourself in a position after one race in the season. We're glad to have you in the XMS League, and we hope you the best going further forward.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. I just want to give some shout-outs real quick. My paint scheme, I didn't get it on here in time, but I wanted to give a couple shout-outs. Overhead Surf Shop, Butt Snorkeler, Shinko Diecast, All Seeing Motorsports, co-owner Austin Baker, Mike Hermes, all the guys back at All Seeing, everyone at EPI. I appreciate everybody's help. So thank you guys for broadcasting this.
Oh, absolutely, man. Without your sponsors, none of us would be here. We appreciate you racing. Nice finish. Great job.
Y'all have a good one.
Yes, sir.
Driver the number 49, Chevy Camaro, in Albritton. Let's talk to our race winner. This is going to be a fun. It's been a long time since I've talked to Joe. I can't wait. Joe Torres, AJ, and Kenan in the broadcast booth. You got a copy, my friend.
Yes, I do.
Congratulations on the win. Very hard fought. I can't really say I'm surprised because I don't think you left the top 5 unless you were on pit road. That car was bad fast all night, dude.
I can't thank first thank the good Lord for that, but I can't say enough for this 29 team. Everyone at Sparta Esports. Mike was the guy who got me gave me the opportunity to join this league and be part owner of this team. So if it weren't for him, Kyle and Connor, I would not be here right now. But this is an emotional win. We'll just say.
Yeah, I can tell. I can hear it in your voice, and I know Mike is listening onto this very closely. But dude, you were fast. You were in the position to win throughout the whole race. What was going through your head while we were seeing some of those cautions that took a lot of your competitors out? What was going through your head while that was happening?
So in my head, in that moment, we were racing. I just knew I had to be up front because I knew that if we're not up front, we're not going to win the race. I've learned that from doing a lot of iRacing in official races, and it helped a lot with doing this race, and it's helped with all the other league experiences. And I just told myself, well, just stay at the front, do not lose the front, be battling for the lead with the other guys, and all the other guys were phenomenal at on track. I gotta thank them. They're awesome. They're an awesome group of people to race with.
Yeah, we go to Chicagoland next week. We go from a 2.5 to a 1.5. What are we expecting from the 29 Chevy next week?
At least consistency. We'll just try to run consistent, running top 5s, getting top 10s, get a win here and there, and see what we could do. Build something for the playoffs, because now that we won Daytona and we're locked in, basically, we just got to keep running consistently and making sure that we're up front and making sure that we just finish all the races and see what happens. Again, this is only a rookie year for myself in this league, so might as well learn everything that happens around and get to know how everyone drives, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, well, you're 1 for 1 in racing in this league. Maybe next week you can make it 2 for 2, but we will see. Before we let you go and celebrate the win here at the World Center of Racing, sponsors you want to plug? Any thank yous? We heard you talk about Mike and we heard you talk about Kyle. Are there any sponsors that you'd also like to plug?
I just have one question I gotta ask Joe after he gives the sponsors.
Alrighty then.
All right, so when you were going into the last restart, how did you feel not being in the lead? Did you feel like you lost it? Did you feel like you didn't have the help you needed? How did you make it work?
I just trusted my instinct. My instinct was I'm in third place. Gotta make sure I get a good run. And then when the first moment that top side was clear, make the pass off of turn 2 and make sure someone goes with me. And thankfully Austin came with me. And I gotta thank him for having the opportunity with him to push me past Gary, and then battling within ourselves coming to the checker flag.
Yeah, I agree. It was absolute pure execution, and congrats on the win, man. Enjoy it. Drink a lot of beer tonight. Enjoy it with the crew. Enjoy it with the team. You guys earned every bit of that.
Absolutely, thank you.
All right, Joe. We'll let you go celebrate. Thanks for coming and talking with us, and we'll see you at Chicagoland Speedway next week.
Let me plug those sponsors in, like you guys have said. So let's plug in those sponsors real quick. No, we did not. So I gotta thank Podium, GM Good Wrench, Team Conti, team everyone at Sparta Esports, everyone at my other team that I have, JTR, having everything for building great engines on top of that. Shout out to all to all my coworkers that are watching. I know there's a lot of people watching that were watching this race, and shout out to my family and everyone else and you guys for making awesome broadcasts.
Congratulations to you, man. You're the winner.
I appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
Catch you later, Joe. Great job, my friend.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that was it, everybody. Thank you very much for coming and talking with us. Coming and watching the show with us. That was absolutely fun. Kenan, thank you for coming in out of the bullpen to come hang out and call this awesome race.
Yeah, I'm just thankful for the opportunity. I think what we all watched tonight at Daytona, there's a couple big wrecks. You always see them at Daytona, but man, there's a lot of tough competition and a lot of cars that are very equal on power, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what brings it to Chicago.
Yeah, I can't wait for it. We will catch you all next week at Chicagoland. Signing off for All-Star 15 TV and the XMS RICMOTECH Xfinity series. Have a good one, and we'll see you next Wednesday, everybody.
Good night.
Performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go. RICMOTECH.com.
From Mortar to Hogwarts to Gotham, the nerds have come together to create a show for nerds by nerds. Join nerds doing nerd things as they talk about all things nerdy. Stay up to date on the show by liking the Nerds Doing Nerd Things Facebook page.
The search is over. The most comprehensive oval scoring solution is here. Featuring oval playoffs, adjust drivers per round, custom number of rounds, custom playoff points, provisionals, optional win and you're in, custom playoff displays, rookie championships, optional minimum participation, and load those results in seconds. Visit extremescoring.info today.
RICMOTECH, high-performance sim racing equipment. There's only one place to go. RICMOTECH.com.